And what's it been like for you getting involved in the campaign?
It's been absolutely exhilarating because as a gay man who came out some 20 years ago, but coming out to your family and friends is one thing. I think knocking on doorsteps visibly for a campaign like this is a hugely affirming experience when you get the positive reactions, and I know it's like this for many other canvassers as well. So I would say it's one of the best experiences of my life, and already it's been a positive benefit, and I'm just hoping there can be a big party on May the 23rd.
And what have you learned about yourself and from other people from being involved
in the campaign? I suppose that I have more courage than I thought I had to just go out there. It might have been something if you thought about it 6 months ago and you'd feel maybe you couldn't do that or ask certain people or relatives and so on. But I've found that I can do it, and that's been affirming for myself personally, and I think that's mirrored across a lot of other canvassers I've been speaking to as well.
What would you say to some people who might have been thinking about getting involved in canvassing but not really sure what's involved in it? What would you say to them?
Go for it. Just take that step. It's so affirming, it's so positive, it's so exhilarating, and you feel, you'll be all the more happy on May the 23rd lifting that point when the positive result, which hopefully will come true, if you've done some of the footwork, if you've played a part in this historic decision. Next year we celebrate the centenary of the Easter Rising, and we can celebrate a republic that values truly all of its citizens. You can be part of that. Go for it.
What do you think it says about Irish society if it does pass?
It says that we are a compassionate society, we are a tolerant society, we care for others, we care for minorities in our country. We don't dodge up the attitude of I'm all right, Jack, because we might be heterosexual and we can get married. We're generous enough to extend that to another section of the population. I think that's a very important, inclusive, generous-hearted message that can come out. And I have a huge amount of faith in the vast majority of heterosexual people in Ireland who will be generous enough to not just look at their own life and their own situation, but to look at others also and extend that.
How have you found the level of support outside of the gay community through this?
Very positive. I mean, that is the most heartwarming aspect of it, that I'm gay myself, but if I was heterosexual, I would hope I could be as open-hearted and generous as those wonderful people I've met on the canvas and in other conversations. Married couples with children themselves who fit the traditional definition of family, but who are willing to go out on a limb for this issue. And try and convince their own families and friends. That is so powerful. That is the best of Ireland.
And if this is an example of the best of Ireland, how do you think it'll help kids who are kind of growing up who might be conflicted about their sexuality? How will it help them, would you say?
Well, I suppose I was thinking about this recently. If you're a little boy or a little girl, or you're reaching age of going to secondary school, and you know that if you grow up, if you're a boy who fancies girls, you can meet a nice girl, fall in love and get married. If you're a girl, you can meet a boy and get married. And if you're in the minority that are a boy who likes another boy, you can also hope to get married. It's so simple a message that everybody can aspire in the future to marry the person they love. I think it's so simple a message, and yet it's so profound a message at one and the same time. I think it will have a hugely positive influence on people struggling with their sexuality at that age and for the future. I know it would have had that effect on me when I was growing up. Had society allowed equal marriage at that time, it can do nothing but good.
What was it like growing up gay? Like for you growing up?
Growing up, it was difficult. There's no two ways about it, because it's an inner struggle, and I suppose there were no clear role models out there. There weren't the positive figures we see now in the entertainment world or in soaps, in public life, politicians. So it was very much an inner journey to find your way to the cities, to the comfortable places that you could explore your identity and affirm it and feel positive about it and build your self-esteem. But we're in a much more open era now. There's much more higher level of awareness there. There's a much greater scientific understanding about human sexuality, and I think this is all to the good. This is our time now to be part of a momentous change in Irish history.
One last question. What do you say to the people who are undecided and not sure which way they're going to vote? What would you say to them?
If you have a doubt, don't just let that fester in your mind. Ask somebody about it. If you need reassurance, talk to people, look at the information that's out there. This is a threat to nobody. When we all wake up, hopefully on May 23rd, May 24th, and this has passed, the world is not going to change. 90% of marriages will still be heterosexual marriages, just based on numbers in the population. But this will extend civil rights and a full sense of equality to the remaining 10%. We've had civil partnership in the past, we've had decriminalisation of homosexuality in the past. All kinds of fears were raised at that time that this would bring about terrible consequences. What it brought about was a more compassionate and open society, and I believe that people will see that when they but if you have a worry, don't be afraid to look at it and to seek information.